Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and Klein's got some new commemorative pliers out. They're calling these the American Forged. I guess that's compared to maybe the Freedom series here. But what they've got is a real strong laser etching of the flag. Comes in this lineman, a pair of needle nose, and they also have one, I don't have it, but it's a little flush cut like this, and it has red and blue handles. The price is, this is 30 bucks, actually 29 and change on the Lowe's website. Same with this one. This one's under 13 with a little bit of a flag motif on it. I'm going to have to get one probably for the collection here. I didn't mean to collect these, but as I've said in other videos, that's just what happened. Klein started out with some basic flag stuff, then they got some more detail in the flag, then they went to a heavier flag. This one you can really feel. Little more advanced there with the laser etching with the eagle in this Freedom series. And they're kind of going with black is the new black. So you can get different colored handles, fancier handles like this blue metallic on this riveted one to celebrate their anniversary or one of their anniversaries. Now, Southwire also makes a lineman with a flag motif and the Wounded Warrior made in USA here, Wounded Warrior logo for some of the fundraising that they've done. And I'm starting to think, you know what? I think Channelock really needs to get on board with this. And here's why. Klein is celebrating, at least in this case and in this and in this one, that they are USA made. They never left. They were, to my knowledge, is not an overseas made Klein lineman. So I think we need to celebrate maybe the companies that never left, not necessarily just the ones that came back. Now, Channelock is also one of those companies, and this is pretty boring. In fact, this is really boring. If you saw these two on the shelf, especially for the same price, what are you going to grab? That kind of gets in your face. I like it. I mean, that's even what I've called this sometimes, is made in your face. But I think Channelock needs to pick up the game a little bit with the look of things. Yeah, they say, well, it's our beautiful blue. Well, yeah, here's Southwire's blue. A lot more vibrant, I think, especially with the red accents. Klein's got a blue in their comfort grip, the blue metallic, blue and white on their commemorative plier, standard blue dip. And here's where I think this might go. There's a little company out there that has tools marketed under the Icon brand. And I don't know how long it's going to take before Icon makes a lineman plier for who knows how much. But once they do, Icon's played around with some U.S. manufacturing. And what if Icon made a lineman that had a pretty substantial flag motif branding? And I mean, these are $30, 30 bucks, either one of them, 60 for both. But if you have, that threat on the horizon and your Channelock just floating along the same way you've done things for a long time, yes, you can put the guy Todd on your package and, have people say, oh yeah, it's a real American doing real work with our real tools. But I think you're going to have to stand out because, these are all marketed fairly similar. Actually, Klein's got a bigger presence at Lowe's, but they're just hanging on a wall and somebody walks by, and unless they know exactly what they want, they're just going to eyeball all of these and say, wow, which would you get? Huh? Which one? And why? And just on the surface, you're probably going to go with something like that. So I do like that Klein is doing this. Yes, there's a lot of overseas Klein tools. Many of them are featured on this channel. In fact, yesterday. But I think also these are just outstanding tools, as are these. But this is the 21st century. Actually, we're a quarter of the way through the 21st century. Somebody born today could live to the 22nd century without much trouble, without much work at it. But Channelock, I think your branding, your market is kind of for people who already know who you are. and that population is always going to get smaller. So Klein, I think, is right, and Icon's just sitting out there probably looking for ideas, and we all know that they move fast when they want to, and I don't think there's anything keeping them from making a USA-made lineman. In fact, that would be about as exciting as the G2 ratchets that they're marketing now. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. What should we do about all this? I'd love to see, more, I guess, frills, if you will, more fun, more ownership on the tools. Maybe that's a little much for a lot of people, but if you watch this channel, you know that I love linemans. I like Klein. I am interested always in, the American-made manufacturing. And then this is just an over-the-top acknowledgement. So where's the harm in that? Anyway, let me know what you think. And with that, Doc out.